when multiplying and dividing integers. Here we have -2 times -3. We know this is multiplication because a parenthesis is used and there's no operator between the 2 and the parenthesis, which means multiply. So remember, anytime we multiply or divide, we want to make sure we keep our signs. So we've got a negative and a negative. So our answer will have 2 negatives, and then 2 times 3, 6. Now to simplify our answer, the opposite of a negative is a positive. So this is going to equal positive 6. So anytime you're multiplying and dividing, if you've got a negative and a positive, you only have one negative. So your answer is going to be negative. But if you have a negative and a negative, then you're going to put these two together to equal a positive, because the opposite of a negative is a positive. Does not matter which order they go in. It's one negative is going to be negative, two negatives is the opposite of a negative is a positive. Now to add and subtract, you will see that here we've got a minus sign in between the 2 and the parenthesis. So that's telling us that this parenthesis is holding the negative with the 3. So it's the opposite of -3. So if you have a negative in front of a parenthesis, then that negative goes with the whole parenthesis. So it doesn't matter what's inside of that, everything inside of there, we have to find the opposite of. So the opposite of a -3 is a +3. And then you need to go ahead and bring down the -2. So now we have 2 negatives and 3 positives. So just by looking at that, we know that we have more positives than negatives. One way to think about that is doing our tug of war. If we've got 2 negatives, 3 positives, you know, if you would see a tug of war, you know the positive side, the positive team would win because it has 3 pooling and the negatives only have 2 pooling. So the positives will win because they have one more person or they're one stronger. So -2 plus 3 equals +1. Now anytime you have 2 of the same sign, remember if you have some positive and you have some more positives, then they're all positives. Or if you have negatives and some more negatives, then they're all negatives.